Good morning. Since the last time I saw you, I literally slept an entire day. Let's discuss that. So I didn't even watch that last video that I made. I think it was, to be completely honest, I was so high. And that situation was probably the worst situation that I could have found myself. And the reason why I had not been traveling out to other countries. So I don't know what I said in the last video because I don't even remember what I was able to recall. But I can consolidate it all into something right now. So I went to Tijuana, Mexico, on a whim, just to go hang out with a friend that I had never met before. And like a lot of people that I hang out with, he got irritated with me because, I won't do what they want me to do, or I think I have this like syndrome where someone tells me something to do and I'll be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something opposite. And so I was not doing what he wanted me to do. And so basically he was like, okay, whatever, you can go. So I left. I went and hung out with another person that I had talked to while I was there. And then I left his house on an adventure thinking like, oh, I'm going to go out and, wander the streets, make some friends. Mind you, I am completely neglecting the fact that I do not speak Spanish. I mean, I know very, very little Spanish. And I know no one in that country. I'm thinking I'm still in America because, it's like, but I'm not in America. I'm in Mexico. I walked from the south part of Tijuana all the way to downtown, to the northern part. And I just start walking around and like, suddenly this person stops me and asks me for a cigarette, and I give him a cigarette, and he's like, oh, what are you doing out here? I was like, oh, I'm just hanging out. He's like, oh, come with me. Let's go. You can come back to my hotel room and, you can get high and blah, blah, blah. So I go. And thinking, oh, yeah, cool. I made a new friend. He leads me down this alley. I'm like, okay. We go down the alley. Then we go upstairs to this shady, very broken down, like, motel room. And we finally get to, and we're like doing drugs, and then he steals my phone. So he steals my phone, and I go walking looking for him, but I completely, again, I'm thinking I'm not in Mexico. I think I'm in the United States. And so when I'm walking around, I'm like, well, the cops, I could go tell the cops. The cops do not care about my phone being stolen. Neither do they care that I'm like struggling to find somewhere to go. Like, they don't care. They don't care. And they started asking me for money. So I left, and they kind of like, they didn't really chase after me. They just let me go. And I went back to the hotel room where I knew that he would be, and he wasn't there. His girlfriend comes back. Oh, she was there with us too. His girlfriend comes back and she starts talking to me, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're so cool, and da-da-da-da, right? And then she leaves. Right as she goes out the door, I hear her say, oh, ¿qué onda, wey? Like, to some guy. And then they start talking together, and I'm just like, oh crap, like, should I go with her, or like, what should I do? So I decided to stay in there. So I stayed in there. Then I start hearing people talking outside, but they're not talking in Spanish, they're talking in English, because I think they want me to hear them. And they're like, we should beat him up and take the rest of what he has. He has a nice phone. What about all the rest of the stuff he has? And I'm like, oh crap, like, they're gonna beat me up? And so I kind of look out the window to see if someone's there, and there's a lot of people there. There's about 15 people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I close the window, and then I turn off the light. The light turn off, so they all start laughing, and they start like speaking Spanish. I'm sure they're saying all kinds of things about me. And then, so at first, I felt this anger and I felt like super mad. And I got up and I'm like breathing really hard. And I see this like this personage by the door, and it has red eyes, and I kind of almost like embodied it. And I was like getting ready to fight them. And I started to act really crazy. Like it was almost like I felt possessed, or like I was becoming something else, and I was getting ready to like to freaking die basically, because there was like 15 guys and they had weapons. They weren't coming to beat me down. They were coming to kill me basically and steal my stuff. And I was like pumping up like, come on, you know, and I turned off the light so that, you know, if they came in, I would just knock them out one at a time. And then as a little bit more time came on, they didn't want to come in because I think they felt a little bit afraid of like who I was or something. I really think I was a little bit possessed, like, because when I saw that person standing in the corner, it had red eyes, and it was scary. And so I eventually ran out of that energy, obviously, because my body was so tired and so broken down from the weekend. And when that energy ran out, I was left with nothing. I was left with emptiness. And so I cried. I started crying because I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't fight them. There's way too many. And they had weapons. Like, I hit one, the other one's going to stab me. So I ended up praying. And as soon as I started praying, I was looking up. I was looking up to God. And I looked up to him. Instead of looking down and closing my eyes, I looked straight up. And I asked him, please soften their hearts enough to let me get away. Please soften their hearts. And I kept saying it over and over and over and over and over. Like, I swear it was a long time in there. I think I got to that hotel room at like 3, and I didn't leave until like 5 or 6. I prayed the entire time. I prayed and I said, please soften their hearts. In the name of Jesus Christ, please soften their hearts. And let them know that I'm, you know, I don't even know what I was saying. I think I was mumbling a lot too, but all I remember is that I said, please, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, please soften their hearts. And he did. He softened their hearts. And one by one, they started walking away. They started walking away from me. And even the few that were there that were like, no, he deserves this. He's gonna get beat up. Because they stole my phone. And that was the argument that one of the ladies said. She's like, wait, hold on. You stole his phone and you want to beat him up? She's like, that's not right. You guys are not doing right. That's not right. You see that boy in there? He's praying in there. And she came around and she looked inside it. And I didn't even look up. I know she was there, but I didn't even look up. She's like, that boy is praying in there. You leave him alone. And they would not do it. They stayed out there. And she said, okay, well, this is on you then. All of this, if you go beat that boy up, that's on you. And she left. What an angel. And they stayed. There's at least a couple of guys out there, and they kept looking in. And mind you, this motel is not like a regular motel. It's broken down. It didn't even have a door, really. They had like a sheet over the door. And I'm just waiting for them to come in. And nobody came in. And then after a little while, someone came by and said something to them, and the guy was like, what? No way. And they were like, well, I mean, I'm just telling you what he said. And then he left, and they were like, oh, so they left too. I could still hear them talking, but I was upstairs in this motel, so there's only a little tiny balcony where a few people can stand. And so he left the balcony, and as soon as he left the balcony, I heard again, like, come on, man, let's go up here. We got to give this guy what he deserves. And I heard, as clear as day, the spirit or my dad or somebody say, go now. And I got up, I grabbed my stuff, whatever I had in my hands, and I walked. I just walked right out the door and I walked right past the guy, and he was still talking about me. And when I walked past him, he went, ah, and he hit the rail because he couldn't get me because I was walking already. Literally walking out of hell was what it felt like. I was walking down a pathway maybe this big, and I was like this, walking all the way up, and you come up out of the alley. The alley is skinny, and you come down. And then you go in, and then there's like a little thing. So I was walking up out into the street. Oh my gosh, I was so, like, to come out of there, I felt so like, oh my gosh, I escaped. What are the odds? Are not very good. And I've heard stories of Tijuana where people have gotten beat brutally and robbed and not even made it out. Like, died. So in this vlog, so anyway, I'll discuss that after. So after I finished, I went into the most lit up store that I could find, and she wouldn't let me in because it's not open, but they have a window that you can open and you can talk to her. And so there's this lady in the store, she was so kind. And I told her, look, I just need a place to stay until morning. Like, it's literally, it'll be 5:30 in a little bit, and the sun will be up, and I can walk. Excuse me. I can walk to the border. I don't know where the border is. She's like, the border's that way. And I was like, and there are people following me. Like, they were waiting for me to be alone so they could beat me up in the alleys or somewhere. So she's like, well, once it's light, once there's light outside, it's much less of a chance of you getting caught by these people. I'm like, okay. So she's like, so there's a little bar right around the corner. Go into that bar and stay there until it's light. And then when it's light, then go straight for the border. The border, right? She's like, if you follow this path right here, you'll start seeing arrows and they'll lead you to the US. I'm like, okay. So I go in the bar and I sit there, and the guys that were coming to beat me up, I didn't see them when I saw them, but I knew them because they were looking at me. They would look at me and then they would go sit right somewhere else. And then they started yelling things and like saying things about me being gay and whatever, and like making fun of me and laughing at me. And the whole, like, I think it was like an hour. It was just embarrassing and whatever, but I was so, I don't know, like, to be embarrassed. It just was not embarrassing to me at all because I was alive and I was grateful. So eventually they kicked me out because I wasn't drinking and I had no money, of course. So I went outside and I went back to the lady and I was like, okay, where do I go? Where do I go? She just followed this road. She's like, I'm pretty sure that road right there will lead you straight back to the US. So I'm like, okay. So I start walking and there are people shouting things at me. They all know my name. The taxis that are driving by are shouting my name. And the people on the street are yelling my name too. And laughing and making fun of me. Like, insane. So I finally get to the US and there are 3 guys that I noticed from the bar that are following me. I get in the line and they make it through to the US because they're able to get through. And they're following me. And at first I thought, okay, maybe they're not following me. Maybe they're just going to work. So I went another way past where the trolley was. I went past the trolley and went all the way to like a dead end basically. And they're following me. They're walking to me. And there's nothing over there. Unless you work in one of those like departments, you shouldn't be going that way. Or if you're going to wait for the store or whatever. So I go around and then I come back through an alley and they come back through the alley after me. And so I start running and they start running after me. So I run down to a Metro PCS And I hide behind the counter and I tell her, please don't let them know that I'm here. Please don't let them know that I'm here. She's like, okay. And they came in and they're like, did a guy come through over here, like in Spanish or whatever? She's like, no, 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 I didn't see anybody. She's like, I saw a guy keep running, but he ran down that way. So they went out and they left. And she was like, who were those guys? And I was like, I have no time. I have to get home. So I stayed there. I still stayed there for about an hour. And she's like, I'm not sure if they're still there. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. So I told her my story. And then this one guy walks in to get a phone or something, and I thought I didn't know who he was, so I just left. And I got on the bus because I would not get on the trolley because everyone gets on the trolley. So I got on the bus. Bus took me the long way through from San Isidro all the way through National City or Chula Vista, National City. And when I got to National City, I realized I needed a little more time. Maybe someone on the bus knew me, or maybe they were still following me. So I got off at Walmart. I went walking around Walmart for a little bit. Got a little bit of food with the very little money that I had left. I got Simon basically. And then I caught the bus back home. And when I got back to my place, I made that video. So in this entire time of me making this vlog, all the vlogs that I've made so far, I've been kind of trying to avoid God as a subject, because there are so many people in this world that do not believe in God and that don't think that God is real, or either that or they don't believe that God is on their side. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I'm also going to say, I'm here to tell you that God is real, 100%. And there's no doubt in my mind, no foggy moment, no hesitation to let you know that He is real. And He's on our side. No doubt. He's on our side. And He helps us. And if we ask Him, and we know, and we believe that He will 100% be there. I cannot believe that I'm here. I can't believe that I'm alive right now. I really thought I was going to die. I thought they were going to beat me to death. There's no doubt in my mind that God is real, and that He is here, and that He helps us. There's no doubt. And I will not, for the saving sake of anyone, stop confessing my love to Him and my gratitude. I will not dim my belief for anyone else anymore, even if it means that I lose other people because of my belief, then that is fine. Because right now I'm alone. Right now I am alone. And the only person standing by me is God. So I'm going to continue these vlogs, but I'm going to let you know, whoever is consistently listening, if you are listening at all, that these vlogs are no longer going to be they might not be very interesting. They might not be very fun to watch, but they are the change that I need. And I will no longer exclude God from my vlogs because I feel like I'm going to lose viewers or whatever. I don't care. These vlogs are not for anyone else now. I realize that. So I love you and have a great day. And you outside.